Isabel, you got it. Wait, oh yeah, let me give you access. How do I do that? Make host. There we go.
Where's the present button?
You see where it says slideshow on the right? Yeah, just click that, yeah.
Cool. Hi guys, I'm the new lead, I guess. Welcome to the first Payload weekly meeting. So today we're going to talk about first, what is Payload? Payload's technically the reason behind the rocket. So Arvin said earlier, if we didn't have a reason for it, it would just be like shooting fireworks. Every rocket at the competition needs a payload. So it's a scientific experiment. It can't alter the rocket, like it can't affect that whole thing. But it's just a scientific experiment that needs the rocket to affect it in some way. And we're finding something out. So what's our payload? We want to see how like G-force and the pressures of space travel affect cell growth. We're reworking last year's payload. So on the right is like what they had for it. What they used last year was they used yeast cells and they used like a GoPro and a bunch of magnification lenses. And they wanted to see like how that affected the yeast cells. They had like an LED light underneath, obviously, so you could see it better. Our requirements, it has to be at least 8.8 pounds. So their payload was actually too light, so they used the ballast underneath. Depending on like the lenses we use, the cameras we use, that could change. It does have to fit within the 4-inch diameter, so we do have to have like a new model for it. Probably print like a 3D print a different size one. We're looking at different cameras, we're looking at different cells. We're just trying to make it better. It also has to be easily removable from the rocket. So it's, at the competition, they're gonna want to see it. So we have to take it out and put it back in really easily. Yeah, improvements from last year. So yeah, we do have to modify our structure. We're working on a different camera or new lenses. It does have to fit in the diameter. So that's gonna be something that's like a big objective that we have to figure out soon. Yeah, we are looking at like temperatures, like what thermometer to use, everything like that. We have to modify the light. And then also we do need an LED light underneath it. We're also looking at like different cells, different ways to culture it. And we have to complete the post-flight analysis and everything like that. And then cross-reference it. Avionics, the bay is right there, and then probably work with analysis and see if our experiment works the way it needed to be. For our work, Irvin had a good idea to divide the team into other teams. So we would have an electronics team, an assembly design team, and a data and biology team. I would say because there's 2 lab times, I would want electronics and data and biology on like the same day, and then assembly and design on a different day, just because assembly and design probably is going to take longer. Electronics is going to focus on electronic configurations. We're choosing the cameras, like which camera is going to be best. I know the Raspberry Pi is in big consideration right now. Lenses for the cameras, how much magnification do we need? Do we need programming? Do we need a remote for it? And then we also like just all the electronic components, assembly and design, designs the payload bay. So there is like the 3D printed structure from the previous slide. Yeah, the CAD, the materials, everything like that. There are like, Irvin and I were talking about how there are rods that go through it. So we do have to either print something that works with it or find a different way to do it. Data and biology is, sorry, data and biology is determining like the best options regarding our scientific method and process. So like the hypothesis, what types of cells are we using, what type of petri dish are we using, are we changing the size? There's procedures like how you make the culture and stuff. And then also like cell counts, what are we expecting, what are we observing? Yeah, and that would also coincide with like the report and the research on that. Our upcoming work, I know people are busy with finals right now, so we'll try to be flexible. However, we do want to have like a good idea of these things by Monday the 13th, which is this upcoming Monday. So like what kind of camera, because we do have like kind of an idea of it. The light, the controller, other components like that. Assembly and general design, they're probably pushed up, like the deadlines are pushed up this far just because we do have like a base design already that we can go off of. So like assembly and design, like it would literally just make it smaller, make it fit, make a new camera, like see how we would fit that in, if it has a different shape and stuff like that. And then cell research and petri dish dimensions and like a hypothesis, everything like that. I think that's it.
Yeah, so I guess Carlos and Ali, since you both are here, as far as the 3 sub-team goes, I think Isabel is going to be dealing more with the data and the biology section, just because of her prior experience. But for you two, as far as electronics and design goes, which one's the one y'all are more interested in working on?
I would probably be better in the design group, the design and analysis group.
Yeah, I'm good with either, so I can do electronics if we need someone to.
Okay, because there's also Frankie and Drew. So we want to do 2. Right. Yeah, so we want to do 2, and then 1 person, which that'll probably be Isabel with the data and biology. And I'll be helping you out too. As far as your schedules goes for Monday and then following Thursday, how's it looking for y'all? Are y'all gonna be busy? I know Carlos, you said your last one's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so I'll be free both days, Monday and Thursday of next week. Okay.
How about you, Ali?
I'll be free on Monday, but I'm traveling pretty soon, so I don't think I'll be free on Thursday.
Okay. Let's do this then. I think Drew and Frankie mentioned something about the electronics being that we're interested in working on that. I'll message them and work with them as far as the electronics go. And then you, Carlos, and Ali could start thinking about the design. So y'all two can be in the design group together.
Okay.
And then I will be working with the other 2 and letting them know exactly what we need. As far as the design goes, the deadline that we have for Monday is like a general assembly, like idea of what we're gonna assemble the thing with the payload bay. I don't think y'all had a look exactly how the payload bay is and how it was assembled. But what I can do for y'all is tomorrow or Saturday, I can go to the lab, film a video, or make a really good explanation of how it was assembled last year, and then talk about a little bit about what improvements we have to make. Yeah, that picture right there is basically how last year's look.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and just really short, there's these 4 rods that just go through the whole payload bay to hold them, right? So they come in from the very top, and then they use some nuts just to tighten the top and bottom bulkhead together, just like squishing them together.
Okay.
Oh, there's Frankie. Yeah, so the red portion you see there is like it's metal, and then the black is 3D filament. And then at the very bottom, as Izzy mentioned, there's these ballasts that were added just to add the extra weight. And then that very green thing in the very bottom is the bottom bulkhead. And so, what is that? Is that Alan? Yeah, hey, what's up? It was very tedious to assemble the whole thing last year. So if we can think of different ways to assemble it, because also since it's 4 inches, Izzy and I looked at it, and just the black thing that you see there doesn't fit. So we have to shrink it down. And I know most of the design will be based on the electronics we want to use. For example, if we decide to use a Raspberry Pi camera or microscope, we also need the controller, which is a Raspberry Pi. Like how we would integrate that, assemble the whole thing. Flashlights, are we gonna integrate the flashlights with the camera, or how many we're gonna be using? So once I get y'all that information, I feel like y'all can have a better idea.
Yeah, what's the typical diameter of the Petri dish? So like 3 inches?
It was more like 2, I think. The one
2,
that they have in there is 2, around
Okay.
there. I don't know about you. Do you know how
The size of the petri dish?
the Petri dishes? Oh wait, you're at the lab. Can you check it?
Where is it?
Is the assembly there in the lab? We could just probably take a look at it through the video of Isabel's video.
Where?
It's a black box that says Kelly Graham. Okay, I think she's getting it. Well, we don't have the full assembly. It's not assembled right now. But
Okay.
basically, you have the red box, right? And you slide the black bottom portion, and then you slide the camera section onto it, and then you put the bulkhead on top, and then you slide the rods through it, right? But the thing with the rods is that the very bottom, there's like this giant section of just rod, like just threaded rod that we don't need. So I mean, honestly, if we want to make it really simple, we can just have a shorter version of that. Okay, that's like an old 3D printed version of it. That was like really bad. But that's basically the black portion. Yeah, you see that the rods go through that right there.
Got you.
That was, yeah. So we don't have everything assembled right now, but that's for last year's. If there's like better methods of assembling something like this, then that would be perfect. And then, yeah, the GoPro last year, since it was just a GoPro, they used like some random lenses. I think they did some calculations for it. So it's because they used a microscope and then some lenses so they could focus. But it wasn't quite good. And then the light, the LED light at the bottom, due to the vibrations of the rocket, ended up turning off.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something we have to think about too, is like, how can we prevent that now? Like how to prevent any vibrations messing with our electronics. But Frankie, Carlos and Ali are gonna be part of the design team. And then you and I could be, you, Drew, and I could be electronics for the next week. I don't know how your weekend is looking like.
This weekend I should be pretty free. Like I need to start studying for my strength final. That's on the 15th.
Okay.
but during the weekend, I can make some time to meet up and stuff. And then after the 15th, I'm just completely free.
Okay, that works then. So we want to meet on Monday, the 13th, to talk more in person at the lab about the designs and stuff and what we can come up with. If you can't make it, that's fine. You know, I don't want you to miss studying time.
Yeah, no, I can make it Monday.
Okay. And then Thursday we can have like a semi-final design. I know it's like not that much time, but if y'all can think of any ideas or your specific sub-team inside the sub-team, that would be good. But I'll try to find all the information I can and then go into a lab and just explain the whole thing so y'all can have like a very, very good idea of how it works. Do y'all have any questions?
For me, it sounds good. I think Gustavo may have showed me parts of it, so I kind of have an idea of what you're talking about.
Okay, that's good. Isabel, I don't know if you want to say anything, any final notes?
I hope y'all do well in your finals. Good luck. I believe in y'all. I'm proud of y'all. I'm sure y'all did great. Yeah, I don't know. Just any good ideas you got, just bring them. I think the Petri dish is like 2.5 inches. We can definitely go smaller. And obviously, like if we use a different camera, a different lens, we can make it skinnier. If you want to use a lens that we can stabilize, we probably wouldn't need this, depending on how heavy the lens is. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck in your finals, yeah. I'll end the meeting now. But any questions, let me know.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night.